Broadcasting live from Dar es Salaam, this is TBC News, our top stories. Tanzania remains committed to universal health and preparedness.
Tanzania remains a champion for the advancement of health emergency preparedness.
EAC marks 25 years, acknowledges Tanzania's contribution.
The vision is free movement of goods, services, and people.
Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Nasa Kingo. Just a reminder, you can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. We start in Zanzibar, where President of Zanzibar, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, has arrived in Zanzibar from Harare, Zimbabwe, where he was representing President Samia Suluhu Hassan in the SADC Extraordinary Summit of Heads of State and Government. He was received by various government leaders and defense and security forces led by the second Vice President of Zanzibar, Hamed Suleiman Abdullah. President Dr. Mwinyi attended the summit, which ended yesterday, where he chaired the extraordinary SADC Organ Troika Summit. The extraordinary summit of heads of state and government reviewed the security situation in the region with a focus on the situation in the eastern part of Democratic Republic of Congo. Now in Dar es Salaam, where the Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa says Tanzania will remain steadfast in health emergency preparedness. Prime Minister Majaliwa made the assurance in Dar es Salaam during a joint meeting of ministers and senior leaders of the World Health Organization WHO during the Universal Health and Preparedness Review in Tanzania, emphasizing that the government continues to enhance its national health preparedness system.
Taifa letu litaendelea kuwa imara zaidi.
Our nation will continue to grow stronger in handling various emergencies. And I say this because of the unit that exists within the government, between the government and the stakeholders, and between the government and all health institutions. This unit affirmed that Tanzania has the various capacities to deal with the different health emergencies.
On the other hand, the WHO Regional Director for Africa, Dr. Matshidiso Moet, commends President Samia Suluhu Hassan for the significant investment she has made in the country's health sector. Meanwhile, the WHO Director for Health Security and Preparedness, Dr. Stella Chungong, says that report launched during the meeting will be of great assistance to the government.
Your Excellency, Prime Minister, I would like to commend Her Excellency President Samia Suluhu Hassan of the United Republic of Tanzania for her leadership and commitment to ensuring that Tanzania remains a champion for the advancement of health emergency preparedness. I can say on behalf of WHO that your country has been a torchbearer. You have invested in an integrated approach to the prevention and response to public health emergencies, becoming the first country globally to conduct a joint external evaluation in 2016. And then 8 years later, Tanzania was among the first countries to complete the second review.
The first JEE's joint external evaluations was conducted here in Tanzania. Today, 166 countries around the world have done the same, following the lead of Tanzania in 123 countries.
The meeting is part of the implementation of the resolution from 73rd World Health Assembly held in 2020, which focuses on voluntary collaborative reviews of the state of universal health coverage and emergency preparedness among WHO member states. The Secretary General of the East African Community, EAC, Veronique Kanduva, acknowledges Tanzanian government support to the East African Community, which is celebrating 25 years since its inception in the second phase, and it was witnessed by 8 presidents of the member countries. The Secretary General Nduva says the commemoration of the 25 years will be accompanied by various activities, including meetings of Council of Ministers and of the heads of government and states.
The vision of the founding fathers of the East African community is a borderless community where goods, services, and people can move freely. To that extent, there is 100% success, because if you go to any of our partner states, you will find a member from another part of the East African community along the way. So it can never be a barrier. The vision is free movement of goods, services, and people. One people, one destiny.
Furthermore, she adds that there are 4 pillars that connect the EAC countries, and they will discuss the challenges and explore better ways to improve them, including issues of barriers and which affect the business and technology integration in the East African community.
We have pillars together to bring the market together. We also have a customs union, a financial union, and a political federation. These pillars will be targeted in the discussions. We will look, for example, at the economy. Have we been able to grow the economy or not? Are there non-tariff barriers that exist?
The celebration will also revisit traditions and customs of the East African community member countries. The head of the Southern African Development Community SADC Electoral Observation Mission, Anne Makinda, has officially launched the SADC mission to observe the upcoming general elections in the Republic of Namibia, scheduled for November 27th, 2024. In her keynote address, the Tanzanian former speaker expressed gratitude to the people of Namibia for their ongoing commitment to the democratic process and emphasized the significance of the upcoming elections in furthering democratic governance in the country. The presence of the SADC Electoral Observation Mission in Namibia underscores the region's commitment to upholding democratic principles and electoral integrity. Some shops at the International Kariakoo Market have started business operations one day after President Samia Suluhu Hassan gave her directive for the businesses which are far away from the site of the collapsed building to be allowed to resume business operations. Here's a report prepared by Henry Mabuma, read by Teddy Mparanyanga.
That is the president's directive, which brings a relief to some small-scale businessmen and women at Kariakoo, as it is the 6th day since some of the shops have been closed following the collapse of the 4-story building at one of the biggest markets in East Africa.
Today, this street has been open along with other streets, and I believe more will be open in the coming days.
The situation was economically difficult for us traders. Our lives were dependent on what we could get until we could eat.
Business came to standstill for these 5 days, which is why people are happy to see that the streets have now been opened. So we are very grateful.
TBC has witnessed some of the businessmen continuing to open their shops, while others continue to be closed, while rescue operations are still going on.
What we are focusing more with the team of experts is to assess which type of road should be used and which should not. Once they confirm that the machine has come in, they will open this road. And if that machine is no longer in use, we will open this other road.
Furthermore, various institutions continue to donate some basic needs for the victims of the collapsed building and rescuers, including Tanzania National Parks Authority, TANAPA, which has contributed 20 million shillings.
TANAPA is also one of the entitled that involve the citizen. We felt the need to contribute something as assistance to continue the rescue operation and to help save the victims. On behalf of TANAPA, we present you with 20 million shillings. We are very grateful. This assistance is significant. There is nothing small about it. Whatever is available is useful to ensure that this operation goes smooth.
Deputy High Commissioner of Australia to Tanzania, Chris Ellinger, says Australia is looking forward to enhancing bilateral cooperation with Tanzania in the education sector and has already been implementing various initiatives such as provision of scholarships and training to Tanzanians in Australia. Speaking in an interview with my colleague Faith Ngaga, the High Commissioner insists that Australia is ready to share her expertise in technology with Tanzania in the areas such as the mining sector, whereby currently there are over 35 Australian mining companies in the country.
How have the ties between Australia and Tanzania, the bilateral ties, economically, socially and politically, been throughout the years?
Thank you. Well, Australia and Tanzania enjoy very warm ties and have done for many decades. I think all of this always starts with people. Bilateral relationships are about people. And we're very pleased that over 7,000 Australians visit Tanzania every year to enjoy this wonderful country. Over 1,500 Tanzanians live in Australia and call Australia home, studying or working and adding to our community. And alongside that, our governments cooperate on a large range of issues. We share a lot of things. We share membership of the Commonwealth. We share challenges such as adapting to climate change. We have a shared commitment to reform multilateral and UN institutions, including the Security Council, and we share an ocean. We share the Indian Ocean, on which we work together through a range of mechanisms. And alongside these, we've got a really strong and encouraging commercial relationship as well, including in the mining and resources and value addition sector.
You've spoken about the mining sector. I understand over 35 companies, Australian companies, have invested in the mining sector. What do you think the growth potential is with regards to having mutual benefit in this sector?
Well, I think it's enormous. I mean, just this week there are lots of people gathered in Dar es Salaam for the Tanzania Mining and Investment Conference, and much of the discussion is about the potential of that sector and value addition, and some of the objectives that the Tanzanian government has put on dates like 2030 are both impressive and credible. And I think getting there requires partnership with world-leading experts, and what we're saying is that Australian companies have the expertise, the experience and the intellectual capital to partner with Tanzania.
In which other areas is Australia looking forward to enhance the bilateral ties with Tanzania?
Well, there are many, but to pick one, I'd say around education and capacity building. There's already a strong link between our countries in the education sector, Tanzanian students travelling to Australia to study, and Australian universities looking at Tanzania for partnership. But alongside that, the Australian government has been sponsoring scholarships for Tanzanian officials and professionals to study in Australia on short courses and long courses. Under our Australia Awards program, we have sponsored over 400 such scholarships.
Remaining in Dar es Salaam, investors in various sectors, including agriculture, business and finance, have been advised to integrate the sectors with modern technology systems to improve investment outcomes. The call has been made in Dar es Salaam during an investment meeting involving Tanzanian and Malaysian companies focusing on modern technology. Here are more details.
The common higher education area is one of the tools of the implementation.
Opening the meeting, the Director of IT from the Ministry of Information, Communication and Information Technology, Mulembwa Munaku, said that Tanzania has made good strides in the IT sector to facilitate fast economic growth.
Tanzania further developed the National ICT Policy in 2016, preceding a 2003 version, which provides a framework for development and the growth of the ICT industry, to enable it to serve as a catalyst for socio-economic development in the country.
On the other hand, the Vice President of the Digital Economy Development Organization in Malaysia, Wan Muhammad, says best digital economy policies and conducive environment in Tanzania are some of the qualities that have attracted them to come to Tanzania to explore investment partnership.
So our focus area that we want to penetrate is, for example, agriculture, if there is a need to use drone tech services to manage the agriculture component in Tanzania, then that would be something that we want to focus. And secondly is financial services. We have fintech companies who can offer solutions in the big data analytic AI for the customers to understand, for the banks to understand what are the key criteria in understanding the customers. For example, like if the loans being applied to the bank, then there will be a credit scoring based on the AI intelligence.
Taking a look now at the education sector, where the higher learning education stakeholders in East Africa have expressed their confidence in the Inter-University Council of East Africa in bringing together all East African countries to address the challenges in the education and employment sectors. Speaking during the workshop held in Dar es Salaam, the higher learning education stakeholders emphasized on the commitment to harmonize education systems and curricula to facilitate free movement of people and resources across the region.
The common higher education area is one of the tools of the implementation of the one-day pillar of the integration process, which is called Common Market Protocol. And it is meant to allow mobility of students, mobility of labor, mobility of skills, and recognition of qualification among partner states. It also means harmonization of our higher education system.
In case you missed any one of our stories, remember you can always go to our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and watch anytime, anywhere. Now, let us take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Now, when we return, it's going to be time for all the latest in international news. In international news, South Africa is gearing up to take over the G20 presidency from Brazil in December, marking a significant moment for the country as it prepares to lead the global forum for the first time. As the only African nation in the G20, South Africa's presidency will present an opportunity to focus on African priorities such as economic development, climate change, health, and digital transformation. Let's get some more details.
South Africa will be the last in line of 4 developing countries, including BRICS alliance members, India and Brazil, to lead the G20. President Cyril Ramaphosa will take over the G20 presidency in December, which will ensure continued focus on issues pertinent to the Global South.
The theme that South Africa has adopted is solidarity, equality and sustainability. And that theme talks to both the dynamics in the Global South, but also the aspirations.
Pivot to the success of Brazil alone, the partnership, to end food poverty, and so on and so forth. All of these issues eminent, in the aspirations of, the peoples of the Global South. Brazil has done a fantastic job, to elevate these issues, in discussion.
South Africa last chaired the G20 in 2007. Much has changed since then. Climate change has become a global emergency, while the 2008 financial crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic, and rising tensions in several regions have left African economies battered.
The issue of the reform of the international financial institutions. Allied to that is the issue of debt. How that debt process is managed for the benefit of the Global South, particularly African countries. Issues of development, issues of mineral resources need to be ironed out so that it's not just extraction, but they begin to tangibly benefit the source economies that provide those natural resources.
At least 120 meetings are planned in South Africa in the coming year. Along with it comes a boost for the economy and the tourism sector.
The meeting of the heads of state will take place on the 27th of November 2025. And it's an opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity for South Africa, not only to showcase South Africa, but the rest of the continent.
South Africa has always played an important role in bringing global attention to the continent's economic and developmental challenges. Leading the G20 with Africa's first summit brings a further opportunity to elevate those needs to the very top of the global agenda. Julie Shah, CGTN, Cape Town.
All the best to South Africa as it takes over the G20 presidency for the first time. Chinese President Xi Jinping has announced a financial commitment to support global South development at just ended G20 Leaders Summit. President Xi Jinping addressed the gathering in a speech entitled Building a Just World of Common Development. Here are more details.
Calling for more bridges of cooperation, Chinese President Xi Jinping delivered speeches about world hunger and government reform on the first day of the G20 Leaders Summit on Monday.
I have worked in China's villages, counties, cities, provinces and the central government. Poverty alleviation has been an important part of my work and a major issue that I aspire to solve. China's journey out of poverty has shown that with resilience and perseverance, the issue of poverty in developing countries can be solved, and that the weak birds can fly early and soar high.
President Xi told the gathering in Rio, China will always be a member of the Global South, a reliable long-term partner of fellow developing countries, and a doer and go-getter working for the cause of global development.
With the launch of the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty, President Xi announced China's participation and outlined China's 8 actions for global development.
These 8 actions include pursuing high-quality Belt and Road cooperation, implementation of the Global Development Initiative, supporting development in Africa, supporting international cooperation on poverty reduction and food security, proposing the initiative on international cooperation in open science to help the Global South with Brazil, South Africa, and African Union.
China, it's a big country, and it's a big country around the world. Have a comment to solve the poor countries and poor people, also through the Silk Road, that China built it now. It will cross so many countries, so many cities around the world when China focus to help this community.
I think it's really important that the relationships that China has established with African countries, in particular over the last maybe 20, 25 years, those investment relationships are really significant in terms of supporting China's own transformation, but also in terms of transforming local economies in Africa.
President Xi said, China is ready to take steps together with all parties to build a just world of common development, leave poverty in the past, and turn our vision into reality. Chen Ziyuan, CGTN, Rio de Janeiro.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And in sports news, the Simba Sports Club head coach Fadul Davids says FIFA calendar did not affect his team's preparation towards the Tanzania Premier League match against Pamba Football Club, which will be played tomorrow at CCM Kirumba Stadium in Mwanza. Coach Davids believes that the performance displayed by his players during the Taifa Stars matches kept them fit and they are ready for the game tomorrow. Simba Sports Club tops the Tanzania Premier League table with 25 points, while their rivals Pamba FC sits at 15th place with 11 points. Young Africans is in the second place with 24 points, while Singida Black Stars are in the third place with 23 points. South African musicians say Tanzanian music has excelled tremendously due to the creativity that artists have been showcasing. The South African musicians are visiting Tanzania for a live music performance, insisting that they are inspired with the Tanzanian music, looking forward to capture Tanzanian market.
You seeing us live, we want to make you dance, we want to make you feel something, we want to make you have a good time. So if you're in Tanzania and you want to come out to the shows, you want to dance, you want to have a good time, we want to play music for you, come dance with us. It's a very special performance.
Music it's like a universal language, man. Like the creativity makes it like everything, you know. Because I don't think it's going to improve it. It's already there. It's already there. Tanzanian music is so really great, man. So really great because we have like Amapiano from South Africa, and you also guys got your own version of Amapiano.
We relate in that sense that you'll find that the music that you hear here, like Singali and Bongo, some of that stuff is also, I've heard it before in Zimbabwe.
Because we are African, you know, and this music has a thread that is woven throughout Africa. There's a rhythm, you know, that we find everywhere we go that speaks to both our cultures, South Africa and the Tanzanian culture.
Medley specifically for the people here from Tanzania, you know, so we've included a lot of your local songs, some Diamond Platinum. There's like a whole bunch of interesting artists that we found that we really liked that we included in the music. So.
That's the sports news. And now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Good evening, dear viewer. Welcome to the next 24 hours of forecast, starting tonight at 9 p.m. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Ramadan Omari. Wind is expected to flow at 20 kilometers per hour over the entire coast, Lake Victoria, Tanganyika, and Lake Nyasa. And the state of the sea is expected to be slight. And the rainfall models are showing signal of rainfall over some areas of our country, especially along Lake Victoria Basin towards western part of our country. And TMA has issued an advisory of heavy rain. And tonight, a few areas, especially along Lake Victoria Basin, western part of our country, and the Rukwa regions, are expected to feature partly cloudy conditions, thunder showers, while the remaining regions are expected to feature partly cloudy conditions. And tomorrow, areas along Lake Victoria Basin, west, and the Rukwa region are expected to feature cloudy conditions, thunder showers over a few areas, and sun interval. Over northeastern Highland, Tanga, Unguja, and Pemba Isles, together with Singida region, we are expecting to feature partly cloudy conditions, rain showers over a few areas. Over Songwe, Mbeya, Iringa, Njombe, Dodoma, Dar es Salaam Pwani, together with Lindi and Mtwara regions, we are expecting to feature partly cloudy conditions, light rain showers over a few areas and sun periods. Morogoro region, together with Ruvuma regions, we are expected to feature partly cloudy conditions and sun periods. And now, let us look on the next weather forecast over some regions of our country. In Dar es Salaam, light rain is expected in a few areas. In Dodoma region, thunder showers are expected in a few areas. In Mbeya region, also thunder showers are expected. In Mwanza region, thunder showers are expected in some areas. In Kilimanjaro, rain showers together with thunderstorms are expected in a few areas. In the Morogoro region, we are expecting light rains in a few areas. And in Arusha, we are expecting thunder showers in a few areas. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, that is all for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
That's TMA with all the latest in weather forecasting. That marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Nasa King. We wish you a good night.